Hello everyone, it's me Derpy. So today I want to do a damage comparison between Xiao and Hutao. So as we know, Hutao might be coming later in the 1.3 update. We got her name card, but she hasn't been officially announced yet. So all of these data I got is from Honey Hunter World. So big thank you to Honey Hunter World. And if you want to play around with the spreadsheet yourself, you can go find the link in the description. You can open it, sign in with your Google account. If you come to File and make a copy, you can input everything yourself, and to use it you can just change everything here. Again, change the artifacts, weapons, and self-input buffs. There's also some talent and reactions here. I didn't include all of them, I just included the ones that are kind of important. If you notice anything that I should add to this spreadsheet, you should definitely comment below. I'll try to add them as fast as possible, and if you find a mistake in these calculations, do let me know. I'll fix them as soon as possible. To jump into this damage comparison here, I want to talk about a little bit of the weapons and artifacts I used. So for weapons, I try to make it fair as possible, so I use the best weapons for each character. So in terms of Hutao, I'm using the Staff of Homa here. I would love to use more free-to-play weapons, but I really want this to be a balanced damage showcase, and in reality they're just not a really perfect 4-star weapon for Hutao right now. And then for artifact substats, I try to get the crit rate to around 70%, as in I focus on crit damage. Jumping right into the numbers here, and again these numbers are calculated without mob resistance or damage defense in mind. So in game these numbers are much lower, but let's make it bigger so we can see better here. So with everything active for the most possible damage, we are looking around 3.3k damage, and if we crit every auto attack with melt applied to them, we can look around 260k damage with a full auto attack combo. And with Xiao, if we max everything out, we can see about 150k damage on a full attack combo. But with Xiao, we're obviously not going to be using auto attacks after we use elemental burst. We're probably going to do punch attacks. And this is what I missed out on the Ganyu video, Ganyu or Xiao video. I forgot about the punch attack you get if you hit the enemy itself. So that's what I included here as well. And in total, we get around 126k damage on the 2 instances of plunge. But of course, punch attacks are much faster than doing a full auto attack combo, so this will greatly out damage the auto attacks. But if we melt every single attack here, the total is very high as well. And of course, punch attacks are much faster than doing a full auto attack combo. So with Xiao's elemental burst active, Xiao will probably outdamage Hutao, but of course Hutao has other skills as well. Elemental skill for Hutao, you go into this state, and then in that state you get more attack, but you also can start applying Blood Blossom onto the enemy. One Blood Blossom lasts for 8 seconds, and each Blood Blossom does damage every 4 seconds, and at level 10 you will be seeing this much damage. If you compare this to Xiao's Luminescent Wind Cycle, it looks a lot less. But right here we are using 3 stacks of Luminescent Wind Cycle, and Luminescent Wind Cycle have around a 10-second cooldown. So that basically means we can only get like 1 E off of a 3-stack Luminescent Wind Cycle, and we had to wait for a 10-second cooldown. Knowing that, if you go back to the Blood Blossom damage, every 8 seconds for double this damage doesn't sound really bad. It sounds like an actually good bit of damage, and that is a lot of damage. And again, Hutao has one more skill, the elemental burst. So if we look at Hutao here, we do damage based on the amount of HP we have. So we have more than 50%, we do a little bit less damage. But if we have a little more than if we have less than 50%, we do a little bit less damage. And we have less than or equal to 50%, we do more damage and we regenerate more HP. So Hutao here on low HP crit with melt, we can do around 248 damage, and then we start regenerating around 4k HP per enemy hit up to 5 enemies. So this is a really good burst damage as well. And also the healing is very nice, so Hutao can sustain herself in battle, and you don't really need to bring a healer for herself. And if we just come here and disable Xiao's ultimate, as you can see, we lose a lot of damage. And of course with Hutao, if we disable Hutao's elemental skill, we lose a lot of damage too, but also we got Disable Melt because we're no longer doing pyro damage. Now that the characters are in their weakest state, who will do more damage, and in my opinion, Xiao will do more damage in this case as well, just because of the fact that Xiao can cast a higher attack scaling. You see here, without elemental skill up, Hutao only has 1.3k attack, while Xiao can have something like 2.3k without his elemental burst up. So Xiao in this case will obviously again do much better damage. What I think of these two characters is that I think they're both really good burst DPS characters. If you look at someone like Xiao, after you use your elemental burst, you start doing a lot more damage. But if you look at someone else like Ganyu, with her charge bow attack, the damage is really consistent across the whole board. So that's why I still think that Xiao and Hutao both are really great burst DPS characters. They're also very selfish DPS characters because they want to be on the field for as long as possible while those abilities are active. You don't want to switch out of them. Now to end the video off, will Hutao or Xiao out damage each other? In my opinion, probably not. The numbers of these two characters are very similar. Of course, the best case scenario for Xiao, obviously, Xiao will do more damage than Hutao, but again, that takes time to build up to that max potential for damage. And with Hutao, you also can heal yourself. So she's really just a one-man army that you can do DPS, healing. But Xiao, of course, you lose HP when you ult, so you kind of have to bring a healer with Xiao. Well, Hutao, you really don't have to bring a healer. And one last thing I want to say about these DPS characters that come out in the next couple weeks and months and in the future is that we should just trust MiHoYo on what they're doing. None of the DPS characters released after the Venti banner has been bad. All of them are great. Clean, one of the best pyro DPS characters in the game next to Diluc. Child is another good Hydro DPS character. Even at C0, he is still another great DPS character. Look at Xiao. Xiao is another great DPS character. Even Ganyu, people are laughing at Ganyu because her charged bow seemed weak, but she came out and did ridiculous damage and is currently one of the best DPS characters in the game. So we should just trust MiHoYo on what they're doing with their DPS characters. Ending the video off, please consider subscribing and liking if you enjoyed this content. And just a reminder, do check the description for any updates to the spreadsheet, just in case I do a miscalculation where something updates and changes. So just check the description to see if there's an update. I will just update the description as I do more updates. I'll also try to add it in the title here when I do updates to these spreadsheets. And again, you can find the spreadsheet in the description if you want to play around with it yourselves. Have a nice day and see you guys next time. Bye.